Hello and welcome to the Comics and More podcast. I'm Patrick Markfort from Articulate Nerd.
And I'm Dave Ferraro from Comics and More. And this week we're going to be talking about some new Image Comics debuts. Most of them are going to be #1 issues. One comic is a book that hasn't been out for a long time that they're kind of like reviving. So kind of just some new titles, new directions for Image right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one up is the one that, it's actually issue number 21 of Prophet. But this is a first issue and kind of a new direction for it. We haven't seen this comic for years. It was part of Extreme Studios, which Rob Liefeld created. Which Patrick, of course, is a huge fan of Rob Liefeld. So he's very excited about this. But this is a complete departure from what Prophet used to be.
Right.
So it's pretty much, for all intents and purposes, a brand new comic.
Mm-hmm.
This one is by Brandon Graham and Simon Rory, with colors by Richard Ballerman. And this reminds me of like art fusion comics like Orc Stain. It's very. I'll kind of show you some of this art in here. It's some really cool, vibrant art, like really like a lot of like grotesque stuff in it. But really pretty vivid imagery in it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the story starts out where this where the character Prophet actually comes out of like a hyperpod that kind of drills to the surface of Earth, hundreds if not thousands of years after he actually initially went into it. And basically Earth is a completely different place. It's almost like a different world, like John Carter of Mars or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. There's all these like weird creatures with like multiple like openings for their mouths with razor sharp teeth. It's very much like just a brutal, harsh landscape that he has to kind of like maneuver through now. And you see some like familiar type things, like there's wolves who have some kind of like parasite on them that make them like harsher. There's like squirrels and stuff like that you kind of see throughout it too. But for the most part, it's a very alien place. With the exception of like the landscape, like the pine trees and stuff like that. So basically, Prophet has a mission where he needs to locate somebody that he's supposed to meet in this time period, and then get his new assignment. So he kind of like maneuvers through this like kind of harsh world until he sees like this alien group in this kind of a jelly type of like, I don't know, pod or something like that. It's basically this spaceship, a living spaceship that crashed into Earth. It was designed to die when it crashed, so the aliens could actually live off of her while it would sustain them while they establish themselves on this new planet. So yeah, there's this alien race on the Earth that he's kind of like going through their pod or whatever it is. And they're like really creepy looking creatures. They're like insects almost. They look like termites a little bit. Like, I think termites are really disgusting insects, and these are kind of what you see in here. There are we haven't really seen any humans yet, but you have seen human hands, arms, bodies without their skin, so they're out there somewhere. But they're pretty much at this point he like found one inside of a creature like a hand. And when he was in this like jelly dome, he saw like skinned bodies and stuff like that in it. So we don't know where the humans are at this point, but he has to meet up with this kind of creature, I guess, in the pod, and this creature gives him his new assignment. And his new assignment is basically he has to climb up this tower. And he has to reestablish the satellites that are orbiting Earth in space, and that will reawaken, hopefully, other humans. So, kind of a cool, like really unique, like post-apocalyptic premise.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really cool, and the art is pretty much amazing. Like you'd kind of point out the colors before, but yeah, the colors are just awesome in here. There's scenes with like just bathed in blue. There's scenes bathed in red, like orange and stuff in the back too. And it really is a cool like world building. Like here's like a weird like alien map in the back that we have too.
Mm-hmm. I think Brandon Graham drew that map.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but it's like I mean, look at some of these creature designs. They're like really cool looking. But it's very brutal, very bloody, survivalist type of tale that I enjoyed a lot. I thought it was pretty amazing. So obviously, I think this is a great first issue for Extreme Studios, and I hope a lot of the other titles in this kind of like follow suit a little bit and just kind of go in like a really unique, inventive direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I think Glory looks.
Yeah, the cover looks interesting at least.
Could be another interesting one. So, but yeah, I love this comic. I thought it was a really strong debut for the revitalized Extreme Studios. I don't know that I have too much more to add other than what you said. I mean, obviously, listening to your description of it, this is a book that's really just kind of packed with cool sci-fi fantasy concepts, like the living city and various other things, all the different creatures. So some really inventive concepts and world building going on here. Gorgeous European influenced artwork by Simon Roy, as you mentioned. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Prophet here is pretty much a cipher at this point. There's not really much to his character. He's just kind of moving through this environment.
But like a lot of Rob Liefeld's characters, like Cable and stuff, he's very much like a macho, character who's, kind of like this invincible type guy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like kind of like Rob Liefeld. Like a lot of his characters, his male characters, are like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if Prophet doesn't seem as invincible to me. I mean, he seems a little bit more grounded, a little bit more human. To me, that it seems a little bit more like a lot of like indie comics of like the Fort Thunder type, where it's really more about characters moving through spaces and exploring environments more than it is on developing complex character and complex backstory. So certainly in the first issue, the focus is on the world around Prophet. And, just the look of that world, and again, all these inventive sci-fi concepts. But it was a lot of fun if you like that kind of thing. I mean, I just thought it was terrific. So yeah, I think it's one of the best comics debuts in quite some time. Very, very, very different in just about every respect than what you would associate with Extreme Studios. Certainly the stuff that they were putting out in the 1990s. This is a complete departure from that. Definitely, you do not have to be at all familiar with Prophet or any of the previous comics. This is Prophet number 21, but as you said, it's really a fresh start. Yeah. So this book's been getting a lot of buzz too. It seems like I see a lot of reviews for it online, so it seems to have really interested people. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was terrific.
Oh,
so
great.
Yeah, for sure, check it out. It's a good book.